All right, good afternoon. Today the aim is to take each of these buildings and make it so that there's four tiers or four levels of each. So there would be a level 1 barracks, level 2 barracks, level 3 barracks, level 4 barracks, and so on. And the way to do that is not necessarily to move in the same direction each time. Also, so I experimented with this. Let's see how that looks in the scene. So just a little bit of texture on the stone to kind of simulate brick and make it a little bit less sort of plain and flat. You see, it's very plain and flat here, especially compared to the church. And the thing is, though, if I do all of the bricks, it looks noisy and it doesn't look good. But I think I found a happy middle ground here. I've spent a long time thinking about how to do it, and that seems to be the way. So before I start copying things all about the place, let's continue with that. So, very nice, relaxing, simple task of simulating some bricks. By, I think it should never be a single line, so that's like a rule. It never should be a single dot. It can be 2 or 3, I think. So between 2 and 3. What actually might be easier to that end is just copy it about, so I'm not like having to control my hand movements. So I'm not having to like control how like how far I drag my hand. So yeah, this is a nice simple job. Okay, and then we'll take our doubles, and there should be fewer of these. Our doubles are triples, I guess. One should be like way fewer of these. And I think that looks good. I wonder if this line should also exist here. Because like there's definitely bricks between the half walls and where they come up. I think that's just the sort of... Does that look good? No, I prefer the simplicity of not having that. Okay. So then I think to get it more organic, I think I shouldn't copy and paste. I should just do it by hand. Let's see. Let's see if you can actually tell the difference. And then we would have, I guess, because this is to simulate this being further away, we can enhance that by having fewer of them. I guess very slightly fewer. And then here we can literally just 1, 2, 1, 2. And I guess that was a bad spot for 1. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, yeah, I think that's an improvement. So we've done it for the church. Let's do it for the wizard tower. And we already kind of did it for the blacksmith. That's kind of where we got it. And yeah, that just kind of subtly... Again, I'm going to use the horrible millennial speak, but... or, millennial speak, Gen Z speak, and I'll say it gives cobblestone. Dear oh dear. using these horrible terms. So like this, are we giving cobblestone again? Or should we try and give something else? Just normal brick. Maybe she's cobblestone and he's brick. No, I think that we don't want to highlight that. Yeah, we just do the same thing here. Kind of looks like a little nose. Wonder if that's fine. I mean, it happened organically, so if it does, like, that's like a feature of it that's not like intentional, but that's part of the fun of these things, isn't it? So in each of these cases, we want to grow them. Okay, so yeah, this is looking good. All right. So for this one, I think the actual starting point of the tent, and I don't have to think every step in between, I guess, but I know the starting point is actually just like a simple tent with, and I am truly horrible at this, so I'm going to have to look up barrack medieval. I think I had this before. Medieval barracks tent images. And yeah, we're just going for, and I think it'll be like a big one in the middle. So yeah, quite fairly tall top. I won't like do the shift button. I want a nice organic one, and I won't mirror it either. And then it's kind of sticking out slightly to the side. And we're going to like make the player upgrade this. So the level 1 is like not going to be there for very long at all. That's part of the tutorial to upgrade this building, I think. I mean, that might change, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the case. And then, so like with, oh, I should, right? that would have to be so. So it's quite small, and again, like playing to my weaknesses or playing against my weaknesses. Nice low resolution, and yeah, we're just starting with like a small tent, and we're gonna have like a couple of these, I think, and we'll go with like almost black for the interior, and we'll go with the same white we've used here for the color. And what is it with those little frilly bits that come down? I did it here, but I think we really are going simple here. And then do we have an established color for off-white? No, we don't. So we just go off-white for shaded white. And I won't start at the tip. And if this is kind of fairly even. Wait, shadows are bigger on the right side. Okay, and so we really are, this is a very, very simple shape here. I think one of the things I'm going to have to do for all of the buildings is give them like a dark grass sort of nest. Kind of like this. I think I ought to do that now before I start copying and pasting them. But just, yeah, wherever possible. And I'm going to let it go right to the bottom. Usually I leave a pixel free at the bottom. But I'm wondering if there's actually a better way, like to do with like the wrap mode or something. Yeah, and this kind of gives a sense that maybe not that high. Bit lower, gives a sense of like the shape. I think one of the words I learned in terms of like teaching myself how to draw and like a useful word to have is enhance. Like often what you're doing is you're enhancing the sounds really cheesy, but like you're enhancing the essence of something. You're like, so if something is a tent, you're enhancing the fact that it's a tent. Everything about it you're trying to enhance. I'm trying to enhance the fact that it's round by highlighting it. I'm enhancing the fact that it's on the floor by placing. So like everything you're trying to do is just enhance what's there, right? If these were to exist in any other context outside of the of this map, of this screen, then I would have to do this in a different way. But this is fine. I would have to like, yeah, do it a bit differently. Yeah, we just build a nice, and yeah, it's corner inclusive. Yeah. Did I just delete something? No. Okay. So yeah, we are corner inclusive. Just wrapping around here and a little bit at the back so that you can imagine where the sort of foundations of the buildings are. And then here the same. And I think this will just subtly, like helps place the objects in the scene rather than being superimposed on top of it. Again, you're enhancing its place in the scene. Anything like you can say like about the object you're drawing. At any point you want to be enhancing that. Oh, this is a square. Let's enhance the fact that it's a square. I don't know. Does that probably doesn't make much sense, but it's sort of helpful to me as someone who's just getting to grips with the fundamentals of making something look right. Of how do I add to this picture? So I draw something in its most simplest form, which kind of anyone can do. You just kind of match the image or trace it even. And then, obviously, if you were to ship a game like that, it would look crap. It would look very low effort. It would look like not great. So you need to add to it, but it very much does not come naturally to me. Oh, I'm going to do one of these. Yeah, it does not come naturally to me. Like thinking about how to enhance, how to make something look good. Sort of slightly autistic in that way, I guess. Maybe I just ask too many questions, and usually that just stops me from trying. So I just never considered myself as someone who could draw. But I think often, yeah, I mean, and I have no intention of becoming a good artist. But yeah, it would be funny if that turned out to be the case. Yeah, and you see, we're just enhancing the fact that this is not on the floor, is not on the ground. So the line here is longer than that one, and that just kind of all these little triggers in the brain that make you understand what you're seeing as a viewer, and say, yeah, that looks right. That looks like the thing. Okay. We need to do the tent as well, because this is going to be the level 2 form of the barracks. And again, sort of enhancing the roundness here, I think it is worth just letting these creep up a bit higher. Because it's not always just a case of add more detail. It's like which details are important to add. That's what you have to think about. Okay, I'm kind of keen to see that, but let's just plow on. It would be very easy to undo this if we wanted to undo it. And I might even want to put it on a separate layer next time. Or I could copy it onto a separate layer without too much issue if I wanted to do that. Okay, so castle, no. So then we go barracks, tent, and so we really are just the most basic barracks. We can enhance this later, but I think this is actually telling the story we need to tell. I think we might have a bit of, like, if we look at the opening there, yeah, it's like, And God, that looks awful, but maybe it's fine. And we take this color, put it there. And actually I think this doesn't need to be that color. Yeah, it looks better like that. Yeah, I'm really happy with those little lines on the walls to make that. It's good. Probably have some little bits of like grainy wood, like. I don't know if that looks good. Yeah, it looks like it's just been like scratched up. That's the other thing, I guess, one has to learn is like, what is the difference between scratched up and the grain of wood? What is the difference there? What is the difference between someone drew lines on this house and the faint suggestion of brickwork? I guess part of it is consistency. Like you see it here, you see it here, then you see it here, and you're like, oh, that's stone. And stone always looks the same, roughly. Like there's a difference between cobblestone and normal stone. Like maybe we could go with slightly different colorings here. Again, I would need to find a similar image and say, is that find a similar image. Oh, this looks dodgy to me now. Find a similar image and say, oh, is anyone else doing that? Like find another medieval town and look at the color of stone for each of them and see if any of them have different, or like how common it is to have different colors of stone. Yes, I've been playing Power World. Okay, yeah, and so like little lines to hold the tent down. Maybe even with little, you know, does that look good? Is that an improvement? Does that make it better? We'll have to see it in the scene. I probably shouldn't get too crazy with this detail. Ah, my hand. It's all like tense. There's this very weird thing that's happening with perspective here, but hopefully it's not too dire. Like there's like a slight bit of perspective to show the circular nature of the towers, but that isn't like consistent across. You know, yeah. I mean, you get to see it, but let's do barracks, and then we go to basically. I'm inspired by the look of the barracks in a game that I like, so we're going to try and draw that. So this is a building with, and this could be level 4, this could be level 3, we don't know yet. So it's got like, let's just do like the tower. With like, yeah, like, so let's do like platform straight, almost straight edge, like diagonal but straight, and not too tall. little room with windows. We'll make sure that that's the same distance on each side. That's symmetrical. And then with a little tower on top, which should be not quite perfectly straight. And the other side, we should mirror this, because this is, although I think I've basically done the job of mirroring it manually, except I think that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So well, easy fix. Okay. And then if I mirror, so yeah, I think get that exact line. Okay, so then in this case what I can do is just pull this out. Yeah, that's nice, that worked. Nice. I'm getting better at this. And actually I think what we can do is take all of this, actually bring it in one, and we've got 2 of those. Well yeah, let's finish them. So we've got this color. Oh, should we do, yeah, we should do the brickwork here, the slate work, or whatever you call it. So we just imagine this like little slates. And it kind of just gives it like a more realistic feel, doesn't it? Or is it just messy? I don't know. And we'll have like a different fingerprint here. Or should I just copy that? Kind of looks, defeats the purpose if I copy it. So yeah, let's just do it again. So, and if I just do it again without looking at the other one. Yep, I think that's, so yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. So we got one of these, and yeah, so that's what we were doing. We were about to color this in and kind of finish it, basically. What else is there to know about these buildings? They've got windows. I think you need that shape to signify window. Yeah, that looks good. like shade this, I think. No, like these aren't round, so like we really will just give it a hard edge. Okay, yeah, kind of looks real, I think. Maybe. Because this is not a cylindrical tower. And I want to convey that. A bit. Now I hope that looks like what it's supposed to look like, which is like an indentation. And we have a little sort of shadows here, almost to convey like a windowsill a little bit. Is this working? I think I'm sort of carrying over details from the inspiration I'm using without really, like they're not really, it's not clear what's happening. Although maybe it is, maybe that just looks like, because you know, often to me, like a castle or like a tower like that is just sort of a mishmash of like bits and bobs and indentations and sticky outy bits and whatnot. So that's kind of my, again, just kind of conveying a little bit of the 3D-ness of it like that. I don't know if this all just looks weird now. And then And I don't know if I want that to be perfect. Like perfectly symmetrical. I think it might have been by accident though. Close enough at least. And yeah, we have sort of a rooftop. With like, yeah, you've got the bottom of the building in line with the two tower thingies. But then like a little staircase. So I don't know if I'm doing that or should I just have the door? Staircase in a barrack seems like a bad idea, right? Like, why would you have them go upstairs? But it does make the building look a bit more grandiose. You could think about doing something like this for the castle as well, like a sort of archway for the door. Maybe it would be done. Hey, how's it going? Look at the town.
I love the market stall. That is so cute.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm streaming, by the way, just so you know.
Sorry. And the blacksmith is quite nice. Yeah.
Just like nice and simple.
The circus? Is it a circus tent or is it like an army tent?
That's an army tent.
Looks like a circus tent.
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it? But I wanted it to have the colours and I wanted it to be big. Maybe if it was smaller, but...
Those houses are really far away, aren't they?
These houses?
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I mean, like, I don't know if I've just gotten used to it, but there is, just like there always is in things like this, the size differentials are wacky.
Yeah, they're a bit too small compared to, like...
The houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like toy houses.
Well, is that okay, though? Because basically there's this kind of wacky, like, forced perspective where it's like, basically because the castle is only a little bit further back, it kind of makes it forgivable that a market stall is bigger than a castle door.
But that is all right.
Right? It's so that's okay, right?
That
so
did not bother me. That
these
did not jump out.
giant potatoes or loaves of bread or something.
I thought they were bags
somehow
of flour,
is the
sure.
same size as this giant gate on the castle that is as wide as a turret. Right? Somehow that works.
That didn't bother me. That
Okay,
didn't jump out to me.
But the
toy houses, yeah.
The houses, yeah, okay.
Anyway, that to the left is the witch potion thing, gamaging. They look like people wearing hats.
Yeah, I actually copied the hats from
blacksmith.
No, from the actual hats from the characters in the game, the witch and the wizard.
The black one looks like a little bit like a baby. I don't know why. Don't ask me.
Maybe because that looks like a dummy.
Looks like the dummy. Yeah,
Just based
absolutely.
on the size. But I gave her the same beauty spot that the witch has. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. The church is nice.
And maybe even like have vines like growing down the sides. Might be
that
fun.
would be nice. Yeah, I like the road. Maybe some bushes like around the building.
Yeah. We're gonna do bushes, tufts of grass, little stones.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the whole.
Yeah, everything is quite
and more
nice.
clouds in the background, and obviously everything just stops after a bit.
Mm.
This is our kind of like. I mean, like compare the houses to having just that horrible line between the wall.
I would have just put like
some bushes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't be too difficult. Just having.
I'm the permabush person.
But you have bushes just obscure that line, because the alternative is that this wiggles and winds. But when we're not equipped to do that, like that would be a whole thing. Because then I would have to draw this bespoke across and I just don't think that's. Actually, maybe that is the thing to do.
That sounds easier, actually.
Well, so this is just like this is the same way I have the ramparts in the game, except you've just got like this happening. Everything's tilted 10 degrees to kind of match the camera.
Okay.
Otherwise, it looks weird. And so like this is just because the thing is that's kind of important. But yeah, I mean maybe one issue is that's not actually like that doesn't match the scene. As in, it's the wrong resolution. Everything else is fairly consistent in terms of how big is a pixel. Right? Fairly consistent.
I'm not bothered by anything. It's just the little toy houses that kind of like rub me the wrong way. And you know how I feel about like if it doesn't jump out to you when you see it, then it's probably not a problem.
Yeah.
Because how long is our players gonna spend on this screen?
Like not that long, but it's like part of the trailer.
They won't probably think much about like the stall thing that you are obviously like seeing.
But that's the same problem. It's the same problem. It's why is this thing bigger? Despite
I can tell that there is distance enough there to justify that.
Yeah.
But the distance between the
but that's
castle
too
and the
much.
house.
Like if you look at the size of the door.
Yeah, exactly.
And that. But it's like I don't know. So what? I would then have to think about drawing, like scaling up this house for this scene. Actually, I need to really think about whether I want like a wiggly wall. Like so, just like I've done this road, I would do
the wall, right?
The wall,
and it could be an object that overlaps.
Because it does, it would actually. I think that would really enhance the scene because. It does. It is a mismatched resolution.
And you could put like the random leaf. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What, just like hanging off the wall? Yeah. Yeah, I would have like full control over. Like I can just paste a few random bits about, and like the little cracks in the wall. Like I've got those, and I can, but it would be slightly different. Because, I would have to do it at a resolution that matches. So I'd have to kind of do it basically at the same resolution as the road.
Yeah, a vine growing up that wall would be mad. Because it would be a massive vine.
Yeah. Well, that's another funny thing. Like, this is a bit of a crazy, like, Attack on Titan level wall.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
For a small English town. But we kind of need it to obscure the lack of horizon.
Yeah.
But we could probably afford to make it a bit shorter. I guess the line I don't want to see is the horizon. But again, so like I probably want to think about doing something more in line. So, okay, so I'm going to add that then. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to put the laundry away and stuff. You want coffee?
I'm sure.
All right.
I don't know if I'm going to, like, the houses... I need someone else to say that. I need a couple more.
No, they're too tiny.
Data points.
Fair enough.
Because I don't know about redrawing the house, because it's the same as the mountains. Because if you think about the mountains, right? How are the mountains the same size as the castle? because it's actually just behind it. I mean, it's just a funny thing of perspective. Like, it just needs to be a little bit further in the background for your brain to go, okay, yeah, it makes sense that it's smaller then. So maybe it's not that the houses are the wrong size, but just that they're too close. Like, if we see that the bottom of it is next to the castle, we're wondering why it's... Although that house kind of is... Is a castle gate the size of a house?
Depends.
I don't know, right? These are all questions.
Look at the houses in Ipswich. Think of the old houses that have that wooden work in them. And think of the castle that we pass on the way to town. It's like an actual castle, right?
Yeah.
It's probably a late 17th, 16th century castle.
What do you mean about them?
Well, are the houses bigger than the doors? I think they are.
Yeah, house is bigger than a door for sure. But like,
gate.
If we're talking about this big old sort of fantasy medieval castle gate, it's like where, you know, which I guess is supposed to be big enough for like an elephant to fit through.
Well, I think a house is generally bigger than an elephant.
Yeah, it is. But still, the house is smaller than the door. So yeah. But I think I just kind of pushed them back in the scene a little bit, so hopefully it has that same. Because I don't want to draw a bespoke house for this. Like, I didn't draw bespoke mountains. Although I guess if I'm doing a bespoke wall, and I don't want to do bespoke like tufts of grass, let's give that a try. So we'll make a new tufts.
I think that's a good idea. The wiggly line.
Well, yes, because basically, like, I wanted to just use the wall that I had, but it is a remarkably straight wall, which makes sense for the gameplay level. Like, it makes sense for that. But if I could just draw my own wall that just has a not exactly straight bottom, and yeah, maybe like already has like, I mean, yeah, I want to sort of obscure that line with bushes, but also is at the correct resolution, because I think so far everything's mostly consistent, except the bricks in that wall, like that was designed for a different scene completely. So it doesn't match. So yeah, I need to draw the wall. So I did put that on my list. New wall for Ironwell. And yeah, let's try and pretend to start putting some tufts of grass in. Can I just use the ones? Can I just use these prefabs? I mean, because they've got like the shadow on them and stuff. If they do. Oh, these ones don't. Yeah, can I just grab those, pop them in, and then so these would be at a scale of 7. And let's put them at 0, 0, 0 for a moment. Where are they? They're so subtle, these. I'm not sure they're the right colour. These might be the totally wrong colour. I mean, it might be that we ought not have... I can't even see them. Okay, so those probably don't work. I wonder if I should use the higher detail tree. Bushes. Because then what would we have, like town versions of each of these things? Maybe? Oh, why are these... Yeah, you can't even see the tufts of grass, because... But I do think this is the right texture to use, because we're like, you know, we're about the same distance as we are in the main game from the ground. The bushes do work. But then it's funny seeing like the grass with the new bushes. Yeah. Like maybe the grass texture is too small. Just in general in the game. Well, for now, to focus on this scene. And then I can kind of, like, if it's wrong in that scene, then I'll deal with it in that scene. But for now, the focus is here. The bushes look fine. The ripples, maps, stones, yeah, let's pop them in. I really hate that I have to... There's probably some setting somewhere that I could switch, like when I make a new empty object. Where do we put the... So this isn't really a good spot for them, but I just want to get a sense of how they feel on the map. Silly me. Well, I guess that sort of made them land in organic spots. But yeah, they are, I mean, they're about the right resolution. And they do kind of enhance the scene, although we need to put them... maybe this is for the tufts as well. So all of these need to be at 10, minus 10? Yeah, 10. In order to be proper. Where did I put the tree? I think I put it in houses. Sake, I hate this bullshit. Why not just make them come in at 0? Okay. Yeah, they do make the place look bucolic. And yeah, they do match in terms of like... I think that with the trees ought to stay to the background, but the bushes look fine. And yeah, they sort of match, so we can use them. And I think I do just want to stick to using the same bits as the map. Yeah, plopped a few trees and stones and shit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess like the cloud shadows as well, but the thing is now we can actually see the clouds.
Huh.
And I've kind of avoided.
Did you lower the wall? No.
No, I've kind of avoided shadows. We can do that quickly though. So short wall should be parented to that. And if we just move it down, you see how.
Yeah, now I know what you're trying to do.
The angle of the camera.
There, right?
And I think again, like part of the reason it feels so high. I mean, I could just. The thing is, there will be mountains. So, like, if we just very crudely, like,
just plop the mountains to cover the whole line of the horizon, and then you.
Well, yeah, that's the plan anyway.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna do that generally because you'll see the repeating pattern, but.
Yeah, no, I know, but.
Just as a crude way to test it, yeah. So then the wall comes down.
I don't get much from the wall being smaller, yeah.
Yeah, right?
No.
Like, I think part of the reason it looks massive is... Well, actually, I don't know, because the bricks... That's kind of the amount of bricks you would expect to see. Like, the sizing is all over the place. But that's kind of, like... weirdly inevitable. Like, that's always the case in games and stuff. And just when you're... Like, if you ever stop and think about it, which we are, like, you kind of...
Yeah, the wall is not an issue. It's just the houses. The houses do look like toy houses, like Monopoly houses. But
is that okay? Like I kind of want to. I want to draw attention away from the houses. Like we don't care about the houses.
Maybe it just works. Maybe it's just me that has that problem. Like you said, maybe.
Because like, does the tree bother you? Does because the tree is in par with the house.
Meh.
The
bushes are a bit meh.
The bushes, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, we could use the ones from the actual scene.
Probably if I was playing the game, I wouldn't even notice.
So let's try...
Because that's why I was asking, like, how long are the actual players going to be...
Well, I mean, but we want it to look good. Let's try with the actual bushes from the main game rather than the... Because the thing is, these there's going to be a mismatch.
That's better.
Yeah?
Yeah. And a bush would be as big as a market stall.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. And then if we kind of... But then if we put it in the back, it becomes as big as a house.
It's as big as a house.
Which is so funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I kind of worry that I've just been staring at this so long that I don't realize how fucking wacky it is. You know?
I mean, I'm not a fan of like the Monopoly houses, but that may be a me problem, babe. You know.
Well, it's like, because when you know, like there's a certain size that we need this to be. Because yeah, the bushes are sort of fine, like no one's looking at them, you know. There's a certain level that we have to tolerate, obviously.
Yeah, maybe it's
fine. And it's just thinking about what's the lesser evil. Like I could be, maybe I'm being lazy by saying that I don't want to redraw the houses. But maybe it really is just like it's a wacky scene, and that's fine.
Can't you scale them or something?
Scale them. Well, like this is basically the scale they're supposed to be, based on the pixel resolution. And if you make them bigger, the lines
then
get
the
quite
pixels,
thick.
Yeah. But that size.
So what? We just nudge it a bit, and then we're still in a position where the pixel kind of is about the same width. So like if we look at, in fact, that is 1 pixel wide. 1 pixel tall, 1 pixel tall, and it's the same.
Yeah, that bothers me less.
That bothers you less, yeah.
Yeah. And then the trees should be a bit taller than the houses.
But then there should probably be fewer of them. Well, I don't know.
I'm not bothered by that. By the amount of houses, I think
trees
are
smaller than I mean, because maybe some of the houses should be because they're all 2-floor houses, which might be a bit mad and unrealistic. And they also, again, because the sort of monopoly houses, they look maybe a bit too modern. Like a real medieval house would be a bit more, and it would have like a garden and shit like that. But we really have just kind of, like, again, we're sort of less concerned.
Diminishing returns as well, because this is something that you can go back to once.
Yeah, but it's the visual fidelity, like, that we, or like the visual language we have. Like, it's not about it looking good, but it's about having a consistent visual language. So again, if you look at this scene, like, these are ginormo houses. This is a house that's like an eighth of the size of the entire town that we were just in. Oh yeah, you see this?
I love those.
This doesn't make sense.
No, I love the little swords symbolizing the fight.
Oh, that's good. But yeah, you see, these houses are ginormo houses. They're mega big.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
But like
the roof on the battlements, yeah.
But then it's like, so the alternative is to make them like tiny, so they would be like 3 pixels wide, which would just be a little, and that's valid. But then it starts to look. But then that's the thing of a fantasy map, or like, or a sort of story map, is that the sizes are way out of proportion. And when we're here in this base screen, we're kind of still in that space where there's certain things we want to see all together, and there's a little story that we're trying to tell. So we expect, and so the sizes of things need to accommodate for that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, the story is more important and everything else.
Well, it's not about it being important. It's just what are we trying to do here with the visuals? Like, we're not going to be able to produce.
But that's nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does seem like slightly maybe too dense housing now.
Well, that's easier to fix.
Yeah, I can just go and like
finish doing the clothes, and then I make the coffee before things wakes up. Hopefully this. Limited time.
I guess they can never be too close to. Should never be too close to the wall. I think I had somewhere stored like where the edges of the map are, but yeah, we'll do that later. So yeah, those are the houses going all across. And I can't really tell at a glance any pattern. And I think I should do the walls. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna have a smoke. Yeah, so there's lots to be done there. I mean, I can do a quick go at the bushes and just paste them all across. And I don't think it matters too much at this stage if there's like repeated. I could quite easily just make a code to randomize these bushes and randomize their position a little bit. And having a bunch of them just don't do any game object dot finds, and we should be all right. And I think actually, as she said, like bush the hell out of it. Why not, right? Let's get a second layer so we're just covering all the gaps. And you can barely see it. for those little spots where you do see the back wall, you just don't see the line. But since I'm thinking of doing like a curvy one, although if it's a curvy one, like it's not actually gonna like, it would have to just be like a slightly uneven ground would make it work. And then trees, it's like, so yeah, I can do this, like copy paste the stuff basically. I need to do that on the main map as well, but for now I'm just kind of carving out the difficult bits, I guess. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we were working on this. The same distance on each side. 11, 10. So we could actually, just so that we can have go ahead and fill this in just so we know what we're working with, because yeah, that does feel a bit stark, but then maybe we would have, going back to my reference, yeah, we would have something going along here. Dark or light? And then might these actually just be black, if that's what we're doing. Same with these ones. Looks bad.
It's cucumbers from the garden, so probably really
Oh, nice. Yeah, that does kind of get across what I'm trying to do there a bit more, and then we can kind of give it like a little undershadow. Hello, line tool. There we go. Let's do our brickwork because I think it feels very empty without it. Kind of worried that my pattern's going to change and it's going to be inconsistent. We'll see. Maybe that's fine, because that's kind of what would happen as you were building it, isn't it? Like the brick workers would be different, and therefore the brickwork would be slightly different. This would definitely have the flag. Maybe just on the sides there. And I think I will make an object which is like a flowing flag. I think like maybe a symbol of a sword. Two crossed swords maybe, kind of maybe signifying this is a place of learning to battle, but then might actually just be two actual swords. Let's get the middle point, and then we try and make these look like swords. I don't know, I'm just kind of riffing at this point now. Should that be a different colour? Yeah, I think that works okay. Yeah, it looks quite nice. works. 1, 2, 3. Need our dark wood color. So yeah, I should have like next time be much more organized with my folders of colors. Like, okay, here's my materials, here's my faction colors, and so on. So I should have more palettes. And then it's like final form. So do we go down from here or up from here? I guess we go up, and also we should clone this over here. What you doing, Astro? Cat's making noises. Noises he makes when he's like bullying his sister. Right. Yeah, could we have little... little bits of brickwork there. And then how could you like enhance this to make it like a final form, or is this the final form? Or maybe the original form, so before we get here, so yeah, that's the new one. Like, we could actually just not have the towers. Let's give that a try. So then this would like continue down. Do these bits. That does look a bit funky. I might need to do a better job of like continuing the line. Yeah, let's do that again. So this would be, yeah, because that's quite consistently 2 steps. And this is quite, and yeah, I guess the roof is now fine. I mean, does the building just end up looking a bit plain without without its towers? Like, is it even a barracks? I guess it is. It's got the sword symbol. Again, I guess kind of in the interest of moving on, I'm going to say yeah. That is enough. Door's not quite in the center. So how far off center is the door? So we'd have to move it to the left by 2 for it to actually be, no, by 1. And then it's still not quite on center, but it couldn't. Oh yeah, that is bang on. Okay. We end up with symmetry on the brickwork there. So yeah, maybe I should always leave the brickwork till last, like after any copy pasting, because I think that could be distracting. But then I think we would have some kind of like beefy bits coming out here, no? Is it just because this ends up just being a very, very basic bitch building, and I don't love it. So yeah, I don't think I can move on from this right now because it is really crap. Okay. I mean, you will feel it going from tent to building. So maybe we would have like little... I don't know, what would we have here? Because this looks great. This not so much. And it's not just because of the wonky roof. Maybe we just go further with the tent thing. Yeah, and it is proper wonky. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. This is nice and straight. The other one's not. Although maybe that's just from jumping from one to the other. Like it just feels awkward. Like it just highlights the wonkiness. But maybe if you don't look at them side by side, it doesn't feel too wonky. Hopefully, let's try our best not to dwell too much. Because I'm sort of thinking, okay, I'm going to kind of like reboot here. And say, what if, and so we're in completely clean slate here, so I can just mess around. What if this was like down here? And what if this were turrets instead? Because we sort of end up going from tent where you might house soldiers to building where you might house soldiers to kind of like military academy, you know? Maybe that's what we would call it as well, just to help enhance that fact. You know, so as a town becomes more advanced, like it's not actually like housing the units there anymore. And so we take this. And so the towers are short. The towers are shorter, and we have this shape. I'll just take a piece of it like that. With the kind of same, I think, shape here as well. Felt like actually they should all be off by ones. And then we would want to take this and mirror, delete, paste, I think, and then so we go from that to this. maybe without even the flags. It's a bit distracting watching the brickwork change. Oh yeah, the lighting. Yeah, tent, big tent. Let's get rid of this. Tent, big tent, barracks. I guess you'd call this like stronghold, and then you go from stronghold to military academy. So that would be our line of barracks buildings. 4 upgrades. It's a bit annoying that the brickwork is a perfect mirror here, but I don't think anyone will notice for now. Okay, so then church. So that's one down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it really only 6 buildings? I guess the castle, but the castle doesn't change. I will do a quick export. Actually, maybe not. I'll do a quick export, but first do all these copies so that the actual sprite sheet is correct. Okay, let's export that. Let's redo these. So this barracks. Oh, these should all be inside Ironwell. These are all part of Ironwell. Okay, yeah. So barracks. Tavern. And that's probably going to be like the final form of the tavern. Yeah, and the sort of consistency on the shop signs is quite nice, I find. And I guess only the odd house will have a chimney on. Would probably be more realistic. And I think I actually really want to do the wall in the background. I kind of need to balance what I want to do versus like what. But yeah, this just feels like the most pressing thing. Because otherwise I can continue with this. And I reckon, I don't know, I'll probably have this done by the end of the week. What is it? No, it's only Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. God, yeah, I should have this done by the end of the week, and I should be able to get the Orcs one. And then maybe next week I'll be able to do Undead and Demons. And then, oh my God, we're getting close. We're getting close to finishing this game. Okay, so let's take Ironwell Road. And let's save this as Ironwell wall. And let's basically let's start doing it. So I think we're gonna be like it's a pretty boring thing, but we take a long line, and I just want it to like not be perfect. Just like a little bit staggered at the bottom, but not that much, because it wouldn't, you know, like it wouldn't be. And then make sure that we end where we started. Good. Because we can potentially, yeah, like copy and paste this along. And then we would have our turret, but because we are simulating that this is much further off into the background. Hold on, where did the... Oh, they did... That's weird. Okay, never mind. That's all going to become part of the same object. And then we would have... Yeah, our turrets. I bloody hate... I just really want to be able to, like, have the far left of the screen in the middle. Okay, so then we would have... And so if these foreground objects, if the width of a turret is, if it's like 2, so I'll just half that. I think that would look right. And then like leave gaps as well. I mean, because essentially we are simulating the same thing. So actually it probably should. And is that like... I mean, I wonder if in this case as well, like I'm just questioning everything now. Should these have gaps? So it would be more like... I think it probably should. I think it probably should. So I would take this and I guess just start... No. And then same here, we would get rid of every other one. But then we already had like quite a funky shape there, because we're doing the edge, and then that becomes nothing, and we get that instead. And I guess I can just do these manually and then copy it along. Now I'm keen to... I think that kind of is better, actually. Rather than it looking so much like a comb. And then these ones... But then that looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Maybe it's fine. Okay, let's give it a try across. Because I just think it looks kind of funky that these lines connect. And we end up with this very weird shape. That kind of looks weird and distracting. But maybe it's just a matter of if it actually just matched. So if actually all of this was just one to the left, and then that's the shape we end up with. No, I'm not sure that looks good either. What if it's like lower? And this is... Almost like... We'll just do that because that would be like the default. And then like it ends up looking like the back wall is like shorter. But would there even be a back wall? So if we just deleted this, if we just took this and moved it up. Oh, that might be the simple solution. And then we just color that. And I think that might actually look a lot better. Yeah, that's kind of less distracting. Okay, let's continue with that then. And then so this would be missing. This would be missing. And I guess it's a bit different because it's circular and there's already a bit more space between the foreground and the background. Looks weird. No, let's just let that one be a proper tooth. Call them teeth now. Yeah, I think this looks better. And then it kind of allows me to use that old pattern for the background wall. Kind of looks like a bit of a monster now, actually. It looks kind of cool. Oh, did I not finish doing this? I swear I did. Maybe I did it on another layer for some reason. So in that case, this doesn't have them. That's nice, but this does. So we'll kind of just copy that. Copy a bit of that. Okay. And did I have any other instance? I don't think I did. I sort of feel like I might have, but no, that's it. We have them on the map version, but then of course the map version would have the sort of smaller rendering. Okay. If I delete this window, that's going to look like a big scary face. Okay. Okay, good. So now we can go, and I think the map version will need some addressing anyway. But then we go to this wall, and we can actually have 1 pixel, because we're just working with an alpha background. It should be much easier to manage. And I wonder how this is going to look. Should be interesting. Okay, and let's give it, don't have my stone wall color. Okay, and then we would just do a similar thing, and I will use some repeated patterns. We'll do a similar thing to this brickwork. Although maybe you really wouldn't see it, but yeah, we'll just do like not so frequent. Let's say we want. We do maybe 1s and 2s. kind of pasting it and then like doing the bits in between manually, so it's not too sort of too much of the same repeated pattern. And this could be a disaster. Let's see how this works. So now I can... Let's see if this works, or if it just looks like a spotty wall, or does it look like the impression of brickwork. And I guess I should try and attempt to fill up the whole wall from top to bottom. And then that can be my chunk. And I really will just, no more. We just paste this one along now. Okay, and will this actually end up looking better? Let's see. So there's Ironwell wall. And I guess we can use a sprite now. Yeah, why wouldn't we use a sprite? I think it was because of like the tiling thing. No, let's make a sprite. So bases, Ironwell wall, preset, and I can actually put the pivot at the bottom. And then we say Ironwell wall, we can just put that there for now. If everything else is at 7. Oh wow, that kind of really bang on with the size. Wow. And then does that look better than the one we had? So we would tile this. Actually, we probably could have gotten away with making a shorter tile, since we're kind of tiling the texture anyway. Kind of allows us to be a bit more precise. Although it looks like I've just actually gotten that bang on. We're not going to need that one. And then I'm just because I just realized that I might have been a bit too trigger happy. So I'm going to copy this And then I'm going to Control Z a bunch of times so that I keep that wall. And I'm just going to turn that one off. And I think the problem with yeah, that's why it does actually need to. Oh, damn it! It does actually need to be a 3D object. So otherwise, the render layer goes crazy. So we take this and we say the material is. Hopefully then with like tiling, no tiling, does that need to be 1-1? So if we make a new material, what does the tiling end up being? Yeah, I think it's 1-1, right? But then why is it only like... Seems like it's like stretched it. I wish I could have a sprite renderer like just act more like a 3D object. That would be nice. So yeah, this is wacky. Do I have to just make a new material? So we go scenes. I think that's stone floor mat. Yeah, so here nice and neatly in my root folder. I've got some old materials that I was using. And this one is a standard opaque. And yeah, so tiling should be 1-1. That's the standard. So why is this acting all wacky then? Right? Why is this acting all wacky? I don't understand why this is like tiling in a weird way. Is it like... Like, what... Is it upside down? It is upside down. I think it's upside down. Is it upside down? It is upside down. Why the hell is it upside down? So really we would want this to be... God, that's so dodgy. What? Wait, what? Why would that be? Why would it be upside down? Why would it be upside down? And why is it not taking alpha into account? Can it not? Is it not able to? Okay, good. Yeah, so that's step one. And then why... Why is it upside down? That's so wacky. Don't need a collider. That is so wacky. Like, what's different about it? Should this be like -1? And hold on. Why is it still acting like a sprite renderer? Why is it still coming in front of things? What the hell is going on? That is so wacky. Why was it not doing that before? So now it's coming in front of sprites because it's acting like... Okay, there we go. That's so wacky. So if we have it transparent or fade, it acts like a sprite renderer. That's so weird. Okay, that's step one. Now, why on earth is it upside down? So it's invisible on that side. So why the hell is it upside down? Is this upside down or something? Is this upside down? Why is it upside down? Now, I can fix it very easily. I'm just very confused as to why it's even the case. And what is this? This is... It should be... Yeah, it should be exactly 10 to 1. So it should be 10 and 1. Makes sense. Why is it upside down? I'm so confused as to why it's upside down. I don't understand at all. Why is it upside down? I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, but I'm just still very confused as to why... Like, so if I make a new plane... Here we are. And then I put the... And then I make it face up. And then I put the same material on it. It's upside down? So, like... Am I looking the wrong way? I don't think so. I mean, it's not that difficult to solve. It's just I'm so absolutely confused as to why but then if I turn it around, that's so bothersome. Like, why? Why on earth would you be like this? Why on earth would you be like this? And so the tilt would have to be 100 rather than 80. That's so wacky. And I would want... And so yeah, it ought to be 7 to 1. No, 7 to 0.7. And I guess it can like sit in the ground. I do find it's like a bit less distracting than the old one, maybe. Oh, but then it still weirdly acts like a sprite renderer. So wacky. And yeah, it might be, and yeah, the position is annoying. I want it to guess we have it in an empty object. And then it would sit at half its height, so that would be exactly 3.5 if it's a 7, I guess. So then that means, yeah. And then that's too tall. So I think the way to fix that is actually just to fix that in here. So like make it actually half. And then we're sort of using extra space that we don't need, but that's fine. And then it doesn't feel too absurdly big. And then as I pan across with the camera, are things like popping out from behind it? I don't think so. And I think that is better. I don't know if that like, I don't know if this needs such a strong black outline. Like maybe maybe corner exclusive. So if we go into here, we would delete those. And we don't have to do it for the whole wall, but we can do it for some. And then kind of compare and contrast. And yeah, probably doesn't need to be so wide, since we're kind of like tiling it anyway, manually tiling it. Okay, let's. Yeah, I think corner exclusive. Oh, dear. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, corner exclusive is better. Really? Oh, for God's sake, what's going on there? Oh, because I'm like, took it off the edge, I guess. Just need an extra couple. And yeah, I've kind of made my life a bit difficult by, wait a sec, it's rotated ever so slightly on the y-axis, don't know why. I can guess though. And yeah, it should be a little bit further back, say 0.5. That seems to have. I wish there was like a kind of snap where oh, it seems that like that's 70 exactly. So if this is 0, this one should be 70, and that should be exact. Yeah, that's nice. That works out well. So I think that's better than what we had. And then we've got a nice even like minus 25 to plus 25 to see the whole town. Okay, well, we definitely made progress. Alright, so church. I think we start with like a little tent with the symbol of Godo and Goda on it, right? So we start, like, we could almost kind of copy. No, we start with a chapel. So we start with kind of like just a little stone building. We can draw this from scratch. We can do this. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Right. Start with a little sort of very basic building that is fairly tall. Let's put onion skin on. That is like not like half as tall. And let's use this as a guide. Very simple house. Onion skin's actually really useful. With our stone color, stone, our spire colored spire, with a little door. Is that right? Thinking like, should it just be like, no, it would still be like a bit of a door, but definitely smaller than this one, but still kind of arched a bit with the double door. So nothing too crazy. Can all be up by one. And then, yeah, let's just get our wood color just to really start to block out the color. Back to black. Back to black. Where we have our hinges and our handles. The handles, no, because otherwise they'll end up in the middle, and that looks even weirder. So yeah, this looks fine. And then we've got our symbol on the top of it, so it's still very much a church. And we'll have a little circular window. Maybe not that little. Yeah, that looks good. And it's okay for this to look incredibly basic and a bit boring, perhaps. maybe a couple. Do a bit of shading right away. So sometimes it just ignores my presses, or maybe it's almost certainly my fault. It's actually easier to do that color and then do this, and then so we've got like a very, very simple little building here. Oh yeah, and I didn't even notice the little grassy floor underneath each building. I didn't like think to look at it, but I think it does give the objects a bit more weight, although maybe it climbs too high up the sides of the buildings. So we'll just kind of modify that. Because yeah, it really is. We're still in 2D. We shouldn't pretend we're not. Okay. Let's do some shading here. Yeah, generally to get this kind of. Wait, why have we got two of these? Guess I pressed the dude button by accident. Yeah, I kind of just go like across, and that kind of tends to give. And maybe just sort of imperfect kind of blue tiling. They would have died somewhere. And then, of course, finally, we take our and that's chapel level 1. That's our little chapel, very small, and you can see that's the fun of it. That's the that's why this is a game. Like that's what's fun, is seeing something grow from this to this. Okay, so then what would the next step be? Like maybe basically just bigger. I feel like the third step I'm quite happy with the way this looks actually. I kind of want to borrow more of that. We can sort of imagine this just kind of coming up. I forgot to bloody. Okay, it's fine. So we copy that, undo it all, go in here, delete that, then paste. Okay, yeah, I think we're getting somewhere. So it's easy to see. Like I feel like its second form would basically be this. So let's go ahead and kind of do that. When would it get its spires? Is that when would it get its like side towers? Is that's level? Is that the final level? This definitely looks like a level 1 chapel. And then we imagine these spires coming in at the end, but maybe they're not quite so tall. So yeah, on this one, we've got a copy of it. We can just like scrunch this down, and it might have been helpful to kind of put things on separate layers, but actually I don't think not quite so necessary. So we take this, and does this work in there? Does this fit? And you can easily see that's like the final form. So then this one would basically be like this shape. But with this window still. So thinking maybe at this point it's just got two little spires. Whereas that just kind of already feels like a fairly natural, like decent evolution. In the interest of time, I think I'm just gonna have it like that, like quite simple, very simple. You think of the chapel? Chapel.
Nice.
Up to church.
Yeah. I don't know why the previous step looks like more ornate somehow, even though it's smaller.
This one.
I think it's the stripy. I don't know. Yeah. No, it's alright. Yeah. Maybe a bigger door. That's it. It's the distance between the door and the window in here.
Well, it feels a bit too small.
No, this is perfect.
Oh.
I like how it looks. It's this. The door should be bigger.
Should it?
Maybe. For the size of it, you know?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's like equal distance from.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this baby a little bath. Little bath.
This is good.
He's having a very rough day today. I don't think he feels very well.
Cyrus, papi, ven a bañarte.
I just accidentally. Okay, this is good progress. So barracks. That's really fun, that progression. And so the tavern, I can easily imagine. Yeah, we would start. So just straight away. Let's get rid of all of this. Or maybe move this down. So then. So I'll take that and then I'll delete all of this. And delete this. And actually, anyway, I need to delete that. And then if this came straight away here, because it has to have a like an upstairs to be in, doesn't it?
Cyrus, por favor, cariño, ven. Quítate la ropa que ya te vas a meter en la bañera, venga.
Is that even? I feel like it should be a pixel to the left. Yeah, at least one. And then it's kind of almost comically heavy at the top, but I think that's fun. So we start there. In fact, we could start even smaller than that, so that could be level 2, and then level 1 would like not even have any of that nonsense. So this level, like we just go straight to roof. Mama.
Venga, Phoenix. Okay, métase.
That already was the brighter colour. So I need the darker one. Just kind of.
Babu!
Babu! Babu!
Báñense, báñense. A quitarse la mugre, niños sucios.
Good. Happy with that. So we go 1, 2, and then this is coming up way too high. Did I not just delete all of these? Never mind. So tiny thing. We got like an upstairs for a roof, and then again I think it's fine if this is just getting taller and taller. So in this case, I guess what we would do is I feel like that might have worked out really well. Funnily enough, very lazy move. It worked. And again, I can go further with this. I really am just trying to get like a first draft. But like this feels like kind of nice, fun, organic progression for our little tavern. So this is going well. It's a bit funny how we go like round window, not round window, and then both. Yeah, that sort of feels right. Maybe we don't need the window and the top one. And then this is a bit weird. I think the whole thing might need to come down just 1. No, just 2. And then we just need to like yeah, so the tavern's getting bigger to accommodate more people, and then we have rooms upstairs for people to sleep. So it is a tavern or an inn. Oh, we're getting so close. I think for the market, I already decided that we just kind of like start with a potato stall, and then we add fruit and veg. So we go 1, 2, 3. So this is one of the much easier ones, and then we have like, I don't know, like gold gilded. So I don't actually have a standardized gold color, but I think that should be fine. And then like gilded boxes. I don't know. Does that look better? I don't think it does. Does it look more premium? So how do we take this further? Market. So market starts as like, here is where the bread is, and then it's like, oh, also other food, and then oh, actually other things too, and then the final form of the market would need to be something a bit more exciting. Like maybe an actual shop, right? And then how do you denote shop? So we could go with like same sort of structure as here. Like, so you kind of basically have another inn, but I ought to not use that. But let's just play around a bit. So we just say like, it looks like the inn, but it's got a different symbol here. It's random colors, gold and green. It's the money shop. That's where you buy money. With the stalls outside. Is that just super? I think that's just super lazy, isn't it? But like this in the middle. Like actually, yeah. You can come over there a little bit with right? With this actually being firmly down in the corner. And then that's just kind of quite a natural organic progression. It's not as fun or as exciting as the other upgrades, but since it is a marketplace, maybe this is kind of the expected level of upgrade. Like it seems a bit lazy, perhaps, especially since that's the same building. But I kind of do want to move on. That we can come back to all of this, but I want to start playing. I want to start playing the game again, for God's sake. The blacksmith, I'm not quite sure. Like, I think at first it would just start maybe as this building without the extension. Like, this is what I'm thinking. So we delete all of this. But we keep the little sign. So it's clear that it's a shop. And then we do the roof. Let's shave these bits. And we should do that for the other ones as well. So this is oh wait, yeah, so we've just got blacksmith and the wizard tower to do. That's amazing. So the first iteration is this, but we need to make damn sure that we have a chimney. In fact, shouldn't they all have chimneys? Especially this. I mean, it's quite simple. We just go chimney. Hello. I am a chimney and I'm made of the same material as the roof. And then we can just take that and copy it intelligently, ideally. Because at the very least an inn would have a fireplace. And then this is the only one that, we just redraw it again. I mean, it's really not difficult to draw. And we will have a smoke object that we can put on all the chimneys, just like we'll have a flag object that we'll put where all the flags go, and then we just delete the originals. So they can all have some animation. So yeah, that's got a chimney. The church doesn't need a visible chimney, nor do any of these. I guess the shop can just have the same chimney that we gave this. And the wizard towers, I think we don't need to consider it. but the blacksmith certainly would have like a big chimney, just to kind of really let you know that it's a blacksmith. So we have our little roof. I've drawn so many roofs from scratch now. Big old stone chimney. Okay, let me think about what I want to do here. So I think we then move on to like this building. So if we then, yes, we could just get rid of all of that, and then we've like extended the blacksmith, and then the sort of dawn of like having the actual smithy outside is step 3. And it looks like quite an organic extension there. I'm quite a fan of that. Like that is exactly how it would look. And then we should take our shade. We do actually need to do this. This black feels really heavy compared to the other one. And then, like, I guess the final step ought to be something like raging, like a sort of epic forge, but maybe that's slightly disappointing that we don't go through to like epic sort of fantasy forge. Like at any point, at no point do we do that. So maybe we should consider that. But also at the same time, keeping it fairly grounded is also fun. Like we don't go to like super futuristic like space market or like fantasy mega market. We just sort of build up to, you know, bigger, stronger, better town. The important thing is just seeing that animation into a more fancy town. So what do I do between these? Maybe it's like we end up, so we go like that, and actually these can move just so that it actually does stay in the same place. I don't know exactly what the animation's going to be for building. I'm imagining it's going to be like a big cloud of dust. That just kind of covers, and then when the dust cloud goes, then so I'm thinking, so we get our, and then we get like, I don't know, like an armor rack, because there's our forge. That's fine. There's not really much more we can do with that. But what about like armor racks? Like what would sort of a high, like, we're not going fully into the fantasy here, but what would like a high end blacksmith that is meant to support a large army look like? What does that look like? I wonder. So like you could have little suits of armor. Funny thing is, well, armor doesn't really exist. Okay, so if anything, it would be weapon racks, which isn't a very exciting upgrade. What would that even look like? Medieval. I mean, I know what a weapon rack looks like, but I still need. Yeah, so it's just. So, in real terms, I mean, is that all we're doing? Like, I feel like we could be a lot more exciting than that. So we go from guy that makes weapons to guy that makes weapons with a second floor. Oh, we need that chimney. Maybe this one would actually have a bigger chimney. Swear, like, my button presses just aren't happening. And maybe I'm not pressing it heavy enough. Maybe I'm like not giving it time to register or something. I don't know. Oh, we should shade these nicely. Why have we got... Did I accidentally duplicate that one? Okay, what does that leave us? Just press. Okay, so we go tiny blacksmith shop to, now it has a second floor, to, wait, should that chimney like be in line with this bit of stone? No, I don't think that's necessary. And then we've moved our smithing stuff outside, so I guess we've got more like space inside for other stuff. I mean, little things I can think of is like having a whetstone and maybe a weapon rack, something like that. It just feels like maybe a bit of a boring upgrade, whereas maybe we want something a bit more fantastical, like level 4 should always be more fantastical, perhaps. But I don't know how we do that. Like, there's just no sort of like, so like, what would a fantastical barracks look like? It would have like floating glowing swords around it or something. A fantastical church would have like holy lights and, you know, like some kind of special scrying orb. You know, but like we're kind of staying grounded here in terms of the story as well. Like, this isn't some world spanning thing. This is just like a very kind of localized, it's like the Viking invasion. So it's not this huge thing. So yeah, it kind of does work, I think, just to kind of have like maybe that's even the final form. No, I think we do go more epic than this. Like, yeah, some like magical anvil or something, right? That's a progression. So maybe it's actually like, maybe it's like this is level 1, this is level 2, and then level 3 it's like we have got some like, let's get some inspiration, like medieval fantasy blacksmith shop. Let's see what we end up with. No, not shopping images. They put shopping before images. Like, we don't really have a whole lot of difference when we're talking about the medieval fantasy one, but what like fantasy blacksmith forge. Like, there's not really a whole lot that we see different. And like, I do think we're sort of going to stay grounded. So we could sort of imagine, yeah, like, I don't know, let's just start drawing. So like a whetstone, which I guess in this art style is just kind of like, what does a whetstone look like? What am I missing here? Medieval, I think if you type whetstone you get like those bars. Yeah, it's usually a bit of stone. Whetstone wheel. Yeah, so you actually have like, basically just like a wheel on legs. Maybe with something that you could imagine as a pedal, and then we just go with our wood color here. And yeah, we will diversify our wood colors eventually. I keep saying that, but it is on the agenda. And then this would be like a sort of stone. And then I don't know, what would a weapon rack look like? So we'd like a little, like I don't have my metal color, but I think that's actually the metal color. Guess it would be the other way around, wouldn't it? Handle at the top, blade at the bottom. Like, that's a bit boring, but maybe that's enough for now. And we'll come back to this, and we'll kind of add more as we go, or like we could change the entire vibe. But the thing is, as long as these buildings are like clearly growing, and the blacksmith, like the fun stuff is obviously happening on the inside. So like, how do you show on the outside that like the operation? Like, you could have a series of anvils and smelters. I guess we should keep the chimney in for all these iterations, even though there's one outside. Like, we can have two. That's fine. And then would we extend the roof here? But I feel like you can kind of bring this stuff inside when you're finished with it, you know, or even just work on it inside. I guess the pedal, if there was one, would be on the other side. I mean, like, the final form looks nice. Like, level 3 looks nice. It's like, yeah, that's clearly an improvement. But level 4 is like, oh, we've just added a couple things. But like, I can't imagine a blacksmith shop being 3 floors, so we don't make it taller, and we don't add like defenses like with the other things. Like, the inn clearly gets taller. The blacksmith shop just ends up with more tools. Yeah, let's go with that for now, in the interest of time. And I think, wow. So we've actually this has been really quick. I was thinking like a week for this, but no, this is nice. This works well, and let's just remind ourselves of this. And yeah, this is all really coming together, I think. Should we let's export, because then we would see everything. Then we'll get to see everything in the scene in its like first form. It should be fun. Oh, that seems a bit weird. And more buildings. So yeah, we've got our updated castle. So yeah, the chapel ends up looking crap, and then like a little market, but it's still, hey, there's a market, and it's clear you can upgrade it, and like here's clearly an inn. And it just looks like little foreground houses, which looks cool. And then they develop into these more bombastic things. So yeah, I'm happy with this. I think this is good progress. And then yeah, I can see like the town being upgraded, and then yeah, the bushes against the wall there look good. I guess that bottom line is actually just quite distracting. Let me see. Is that actually at the bottom? Could that go lower without it starting to disappear? It could. So that would be 0.35. Let's go, yeah, because if it's sort of 7 in size and whatnot. So let's go. So I would need to do that for the other ones. Oh, they already are? No. 3.35. Okay, wait, so can this dip down even further? I think I was thinking about 3, because 3.5 is half of 7, so that sort of had some number magic there. Yeah, okay, 3.35. That's a bit weird though, but it's fine. Okay, and then how do we feel about that? It feels like that line sometimes looks really thick. Like why does that look like that? Because it is actually the same size. Is that just rendering fudge? Or is it actually sinking into the ground? Which bit am I looking at? This bit. Is it sinking into the ground? It appears to be from this angle, doesn't it? Okay, so it wouldn't be 3.36, 37, 38, 39. It's sort of, I think it's just wobbling on the, no, 3.5 is too low. And then doesn't that look much like a much wider pixel? So I think that's just like the render distance. Yeah, we are slightly coming off the ground there. So maybe what I do is for the wall, actually. No, damn it. Yeah, let's do it manually. Just paint bucket. Let's go with this color. No, let's go with almost that color. My thinking is just in case I want to change it. And then I wonder if we could or should get away with doing that dark grass texture for the bottom. Let's give that a try. Let's just see how this ends up. We're going to make this scene. Yeah, it does seem a bit softer, like it's a bit less eye-catching, but it's still there. And then I think actually, yeah, this should be 3.5. Because that is half of 7, and that's kind of the scale we're working with. I don't know if that's like a coincidence, but it feels right. And then, yeah, so you can see there is a bit of something happening where the wall meets the ground. It's not just a hard break. So we can go here, and we can go here. These are the two edges of the town. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. It's almost 5. I'm bloody hungry, that's for sure. I've been having smaller lunches. I do need to lose weight. But yeah, so I guess when we come back, we will finish the wizard tower. Which I'd say, yeah, like, since I've got that. Floor, wall, gate, no. But we've got the floor, we've got the wall. Got the market. Tiered versions, no, it's just wizard tower. So I just... that's just one note. Populate town with houses. Walls. Wells. Oh yeah, we were thinking about wells. So we'll populate this. We'll put some trees around the place. Trees, roads to the buildings. I don't know if that's necessary. So we would have like a little road that can like creep off, so it'd be like a single color, and I should be able to just put it on top of that. Okay, yeah, we'll try that. So we'll keep that on the to-do list. Roads to the buildings, trees. Yeah, we haven't populated with trees. Tufts didn't work because the grass is already like the grass texture. But maybe it would look better if we just had if the floor was just so just as a quick experiment, I'll just paste this, hide the old one, and then we'll sprite. I thought, couldn't I? Where did I set the Sprite diffuse. Material. Oh, there it is. Silly me. Let's go white renderer. And then we just want that color. Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? So if I can just grab that. Okay, now this is a solid color. I feel like my eyes are burning. Which with the tufts, so then we take our tufts. And was that the right color for the tufts? I guess it works in the map, but I would want my tufts to be I would want my tufts to be so if we get this back, I want my tufts to be the same, the color of the grass in that scene. So turn this back on, move it out again, and then we've got grass and then tuft. I mean, this is a really hacky way to get the result I'm looking for. And then maybe that's how it should be in the main map as well. There's kind of a few tufts here and there. Maybe that looks a bit nicer and cleaner. I don't know. We'll decide tomorrow. But yeah, so there's that job on the to-do list. Roads to the buildings. Yeah, we can try that. Tufts, bushes, stones. Yeah, I can populate the map with those. I definitely feel like the camera might need to be just high enough so that we can actually see that flag. So then this should be probably stones, chimney, smokes, waving flags, mountains, clouds, birds, new wall, and I can't be bothered with this right now. And so if we get all of that, then I guess the next thing is program highlighting and test and fix grading buildings. So we get into the programming part of it. We'll see how long that takes. It'll probably be the morning with this, and then this will be the afternoon, except I think tomorrow morning I am gonna make a YouTube video. So so this will be tomorrow afternoon. So thanks very much everyone who joined. Pretty low turnout today, but not terrible. So thanks a lot, and I'll be back tomorrow after lunch. All right, cheers, bye.